This afternoon, we began learning the names of all 26 victims of this school massacre, including the 20 children. And here's the latest information we have tonight. The medical examiner says the bodies of all the victims have now been removed from that school. Autopsy results show they were all killed by gunshots from close range. Members of the NFL just stunned by all of this. Players, coaches, and owners reacting now. This tragedy unfolded before the eyes of two former members of the New England Patriots. 7's Darren Haynes continues our coverage with that part of the story. One of the busiest tea stops in Boston is getting a major makeover. MBTA officials announcing plans to completely renovate the Government Center tea station. These are artist renderings of what that new stop will look like when everything is done. The $90 million project will feature updated platforms, new escalators, and improved lighting. The project is slated to start next September, but the work will require the station to be closed for 2 years. And somehow I'm not sure $90 million or 2 years is what we're actually going to end up with. Tonight, police are searching for a suspect accused of breaking into a Randolph home. He was still there when the homeowner returned, resulting in a surprise confrontation. 7's Alexandra Field is live in Randolph with more.
Investigators say that man was cuffed and in the back seat of a police car. With
Houdini-like moves, he managed to free himself and then help himself to a getaway car.
You're watching an amazing escape. A cuffed suspect in the back seat maneuvers his arms back in front of him. Still in handcuffs, he rolls down the window, opens the door from the outside, scoots into the front seat, and takes off.
The suspect has not yet been rearrested, but with that cruiser dash cam footage and previous run-ins, police say it's just a matter of time. Well, you consider yourself a purist, so do you actually read the comics?
You do, because it takes about 10 minutes to get that hard gum to a chewable level, so you're just bored and start reading it anyway.
Well, reading the forecast this morning is Chris Lambert, and hopefully that's a little bit easier to handle than getting the gum soft.
Just right now, and 6 a.m. Now, the good news, it's not astronomically high, as you've heard Chris saying over and over and over again. However, these fierce winds are enough to push water where it should not be going. If you go look past me right now, you can see the water there. It is looking very, very angry, and you can also see all the foam going right over this low wall into the roads. At times, it's covered the roads so completely, it has looked like snow, and then that happens. The winds whip it up and toss it all over the place. Let's take a quick look at what happened at the high tide last evening. Again, very high waves, lots of wind. A few people went out just to see what it was like, knowing they were in for a long night. As you've heard from Pete and Chris all morning, this storm has been staying with us. It's been slow to get out of here. So the people along the coast where I am really have to worry about that extra element being the waters that have been coming in. Now, the good news right now, it doesn't seem like power outages have been a major problem, but back live, you can see these whipping winds. If they're going to be here for a little while, that could develop into a problem later on. We will definitely be keeping an eye on that. For now, live in Scituate, Janet Wu, 7 News Today, New England.
Yes, we've seen several things here before. Massachusetts could once again be fielding a major player on the national and international political scene, and yes, that expensive special election could then follow. It is looking likely Senator John Kerry will be our next Secretary of State, taking over from Hillary Clinton, someone else who also sought the presidency but ended up heading our diplomacy.
I'm John Kerry, and I'm reporting for duty.
It's looking almost certain Senator John Kerry's next call of duty will be as a president's pick for Secretary of State. He's been considered a front runner, but with Susan Rice bowing out, he may be the only runner. If Kerry is called up and confirmed by the Senate, it would set off some interesting political developments here in Massachusetts. Governor Deval Patrick would have to name a temporary senator until the next election. A close friend of the late Ted Kennedy was tapped to fill his seat. There are reports Kennedy's widow, Vicki, could be tapped this time. And in a moment of political deja vu, Scott Brown could be running once again for a U.S. Senate seat left unexpectedly vacant.
You know, depending on what happens and where we go, all of us, we may obviously meet again.
Tonight, we've reached out to all the main players in this political drama. So far, no comments from Senator Kerry, Scott Brown, or Governor Deval Patrick. Elizabeth Warren's office said they would comment after a decision is official. In the newsroom, Janet Wu, 7 News 19.